Yo, what's up, guys? This is how I lost about 470 bucks day trading the Nasdaq on Friday, the 10th of July. So, coming onto the day, obviously, we had data highs and data lows. My ideal scenario would be targeting um, these ones. I don't know if that's a data low, but this for sure was. This was some like Trump Iran news, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we'll address the elephant in the room a bit later. So what we do end up doing is we immediately just pump to these data highs, so the opportunity is just gone to target them. We do have these data lows, and technically they are a very, very, very strong drawn liquidity. The price is very likely to take on the same day, but I kind of had like a different idea. We do end up, wait, what am I doing? Breaking up, obviously. We do end up breaking up. We retrace into this order block. Even I honestly thought we were gonna inverse this gap, then I would be very open to targeting these data lows, but at the last like 30 seconds or something like that, we just reject very strongly off of this gap and end up not inversing it, making me want to honestly be pretty bullish. So now I was just looking to for us to inverse this gap on in Nasdaq and this gap on ES. We do end up getting it, but my problem was that we just didn't retrace, and the RR of taking the trade, obviously I wait for both indexes to inverse, so it was this candle that inversed on both. Actually the RR wouldn't be bad at all, but I wanted to play my stop loss a bit safe because of this wick. So placing my stop. Okay, my internet is just bugging. Hello? Okay, yeah, the weather is horrible, so yeah, my internet is just not it. Placing my stop here, I would be I'm pretty sure this is a rejection block. So if this ended up like that, then yeah, my stop loss is very shallow into the rejection block or into just the wick itself. So, and I know it would have been very likely that we retraced to the wick, and I've seen some setups happen like that in this week where the RR kind of required you to put your stop loss pretty like shallow, and price would just get into the wick, even not even fully onto the CE, but just a bit deeper. You would get stopped out and price runs to TP. So I'm not really a fan of taking trades where you have to adjust your stop loss to a point where like it's not really the point that it invalidates the trade idea in most cases, because yeah, I just needed a retrace at least to this gap, and we just didn't end up getting it. So that would have been a nice trade. The RR was just not there for me, especially that we didn't even deliver at all. The problem on ES was that we were technically targeting a high that swept a high time frame drawn liquidity. Okay, it's too far. Yeah, I'll just go on that. Okay, I'm not sure why is it like that. And this did not make equal highs. I can even go on the real ES just to kind of show it even better. Yeah, we did take out this high, just barely, but we did. So this wasn't equal highs, you know. And as well, this wick didn't take out these highs. So we get a retrace into a 5-minute gap right here. And well, obviously now I'm just looking to execute. So I'm seeing obviously this top IVG, FVG. We do end up inversing it, and I'm ES already inversed a bit earlier, so I was just looking for Nasdaq to catch up and take the trade, especially that we had a nice draw on liquidity pretty close to us, and this like end of this like whole leg not far from us. Wait, that's not. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I mean this high wasn't that far, but we had a very nice like early high, and this was the whole like legs high. So I thought this was free bread basically. Even just going break even to this high, and I wouldn't be mad if we took out this high and reversed. But come on, we didn't even take out this high. Like, what are we doing? And we're stuck in this absolute chop. The reason I normally wouldn't take an inverse that took so many candles to inverse it, but we also didn't get a break of structure since we didn't even break down, but we did break the last high. We did have very solid volume on those candles, so I was pretty confident that okay, this is looking good. I'll take it, you know. And yeah, we end up not delivering at all. We end up making an SMT off of this 5-minute high, and yeah, getting basically a retrace. What possibly could have went wrong is we didn't get 5-minute equilibrium, but the reason I didn't really care about equilibrium that much on this retrace is because first of all, we already got a very deep retrace here, and second of all, we didn't really distribute that much, because what I personally noticed is that on days where we distribute a lot, the deep retraces into like high time frame equilibrium, into these 15-minute gaps, usually happen after like a solid amount of distribution. Now, yesterday, technically, all we did was make 2 5-minute bullish candles, and that was the whole move that we did basically. So I didn't really like, I wasn't so like, I don't know even how to tell it, but equilibrium didn't matter enough in this scenario for me to have it as a requirement, essentially. Especially that on the like beginning of what you would consider as the beginning of the move, and on the scenario that I'm talking about, we usually don't get deep retraces. We usually don't get deep retraces. So this was kind of the scenario that was playing in my head. And first of all, this little wick saved us completely on this leg, and breaking structure back up was like a very good, okay, this is looking good. But now I just got baited. We even inversed a gap here with very good displacement off of this wick, and then just dumped dumped immediately after. The really what and now we're getting to the elephant in the room. This big, like 300 point Trump candle. And it really makes it hard for me to determine what was wrong in my trade. Because, I mean, I can obviously see, okay, we just wanted to retrace into this 15-minute. And also, I forgot to mention that we did create on 10 a.m., we did create a 15-minute gap, but it was only on NASDAQ. It was only on NASDAQ. That was pretty important. And we weren't that close to it. Because, for example, if the 15-minute gap was created here, then I wouldn't be taking this trade. No way I would be creating this trade. But it wasn't really that close. It wasn't like somewhere here. It was pretty far. And well, most importantly, it was further than these draws on liquidity. So I wasn't trying to like kind of predict what the market was gonna do, but I was simply reacting off of what price is giving me. We retrace to this gap, we get a IVG up with a break of the last high, so showing me signs that we're gonna continue the bullish trend. And I just reacted off of that. What could have went wrong is again this S&T, but these like 5-minute, 1-minute S&Ts on entries don't really seem to like matter that much, especially since we later on got a bullish S&T and that ended up doing nothing, even though this was, of the direction we wanted. We didn't really have like some trend line liquidity below. Obviously, we did make this week, so like relatively equal lows, but I wasn't really worried about that at this place and time, because this was just a rejection block, rejection. So, and again, if we at least took out this high or anything, I wouldn't be surprised, but I just wanted to go break even. Honestly. But yeah, we ended up wanting to get into this 15-minute gap. Unfortunately, without letting me go break even, we went to OTE, and now getting back into the kind of hard topic, we get a very good reaction. We get a IVG, two of these IVGs. We get a breakup. We have very nice volume. We reaches into this gap. Still bullish candle, printing bullish candles. Very strong bullish candles. No wick. No wick. No wick. And what ends up doing a minute after, Trump posts about continuing negotiations with Iran, and we get a 300 point 300 point bearish candle that, yeah, at least it took out what I like, the range, the max range, what I thought we would take out for shorts. But again, I feel like this could be just accidental. And the dilemma that I have is, what failed? Was it just price action? Okay, it was risky. It was for this like kind of 5-minute model. It was definitely the riskier trade, as we didn't really get all of the confluences, and it wasn't all, they weren't all that like nice. So it definitely was a riskier trade, and it could be just, okay, price wanted to retrace deeper this time and only then continue the move. Or was it that Price wanted to take out these lows? So then my kind of short term bias in this place was just wrong. And neither of these scenarios are like bad, you know. You won't be always right, but it is a little dilemma. Was it just like a statistical loss that okay, the probability is whatever percentage and we got that losing percentage today? Or was it that I was just wrong in the whole idea of the trade? Uh, and it's very hard to say, but judging off of the fact that off of this little move prior to okay, what did I get into? Okay, I have no idea what did I just do. We made a 5 minute and we did reject off of it. If we inversed immediately, I probably would have been like, okay, this probably was a bullish move. But also kind of judging off of the reaction that we still immediately went back up, kind of sways me into the fact that I kind of wise was right. Definitely high time frame bias, I was right, because I still wanted us to be bullish even if we took out these lows. But obviously we're not trading at 2 p.m, so I it's like I don't really care what happens here. So was it the fact that maybe short-term bias, I was just wrong? Was it the fact that we actually wanted to take out these data lows now before taking anything else? I'm not really sure, and this is genuinely a dilemma that I think I will never get an answer for. And especially that, okay, you're judging, the movement after, but for my bias, there was nothing more reasonable to target other like further than this low. Yeah, we did have these lows, but they weren't all that close. They weren't all that juicy. So it's hard to say honestly, because even if we were bearish, I would have expected us to react off of these lows to continue to move. So it's honestly so hard to say. There's many scenarios that I have in my head of what could have happened if not for this candle, and I will never get an answer what was the right one. So yeah, even on the hourly, this was looking great as we inversed this top gap, also this gap, but the top gap is what matters the most. We even broke back up. Guess I could have expected a retrace technically. Yeah, we broke very nicely also. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Was it us reacting off of this high? But why not on this high? It was just a very just a hard to judge what happened today. But just kind of cutting back this whole side and looking at just this, I probably would have said this was more of like a statistical loss. That okay, I obviously in riskier setups I accept that we wanted to take this 15-minute gap. We wanted to get into at least equilibrium and OTE, and only then take out these draws on liquidities, and I would fully accept that. So um, yeah, I think that is it. The whole week was bonkers, honestly. There were most of the week there wasn't even any good setups from what I was seeing, in my eyes, a lot, like a few days, maybe like 2 or 3, there was genuinely nothing to take. I'm pretty sure there was like one setup that I wanted to take, and I don't really remember why didn't I take it. But this was the only trade of the whole month so far, and definitely the whole week. The week was very mid at the best. So I mean, I'm happy I took this trade. What I'm very happy about is I took the trade. I didn't hesitate on taking the trade. I saw, okay, we're getting a nice setup. We broke up. Nice. We got this gap. We got into this 5 minute. We rejected nicely off of it. This is looking pretty solid. This is looking pretty solid. So I end up taking it. We do have these nice draws. Like, I was thinking, what is more juicy? This 15 minute, 5 minute equilibrium, or hourly draws and liquidity? Obviously, I went for the hourly draws and liquidity. A setup was presented, so I reacted, and that's it. That's it. You know, I even more importantly, I stuck to kind of my rules. We were in this shop. I was thinking about like, okay, I'm gonna just close it at break even, or I'm gonna close it in profit since this isn't looking so good anymore. But there's always a chance that we will just react off of this rejection block, then off of this rejection block, or off of whatever. You know, there was always a chance, especially getting these like baits, like, okay, break up, this is looking good. Okay, IVG up, this is looking good. SMT also, this is looking great. But no, no, that was not it. And also, I'm pretty sure on this little, yeah, on this little IVG that we got, ES got into equilibrium. So we get a we take equilibrium on ES, we make an SMT off of these lows, get a strong IVG back up. This was looking great, and then boom, I get stopped out. So the potential was there, and even though I thought about just either going break even at the like very early, I all at the same time I didn't want to go stupidly break even out of like emotion. I don't know. I'm not sure if this SMT, especially getting these confluences, was enough to go break even so early, because this would have been like what? Yeah, I mean, I would have went, yeah, technically like here. So not even 0.5 RR. So in my eyes, going break even wouldn't be necessarily the ideal execution, and I definitely didn't want it to be a scenario similar to um either the last, I'm pretty sure the last trade that I took, where I was stuck like 20 minutes of drawdown, and we did end up delivering, seemingly out of nothing. We just start delivering. But these situations do happen, and I didn't want to close the trade or go break even or whatever just out of emotion. I just stuck to, okay, if we take out this high, I'm going break even, or this high. And if not, I keep my stop loss where it was supposed to be. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that execution this week, in my case, was pretty good because I didn't enter anything well except this trade, which was almost the move. Yeah, there was like one day where there was a nice setup. Um, yeah, I hope. I saw a lot of people having a bad week also this week, like losing a lot of trades. So I hope you guys didn't lose too much or didn't lose at all, or had actually an amazing week, was able to um, take advantage of the markets. And yeah, I think this is it. This is how I lost $470. And yeah, have a great weekend and see you whenever I take the next trade. Hopefully, ending this kind of like loss break even streak. Yeah, see you guys next time.